It's a combination of basketball, football, and soccer.
It's played on a football field-sized field, and it's a cross between soccer and lacrosse.
Play never stops, so you never stop running.
It's fast-paced.
There's really a ton of running.
You can't run with a disc.
You have 7 people on a team.
You can score at any time on the field.
And there's end zones, and you're trying to pass the frisbee to your teammates.
The ball and/or thing moves quickly.
Because if they knock it down, then it's a turnover, and then their team gets the frisbee.
And you have to pass it into the end zone to score.
Most good throwers can throw from end zone to end zone.
The best natural athletes that pick it up the fastest are the lacrosse players. They're usually kind of crazy, too.
In baseball, if it goes over your head, it falls on the ground and rolls to the fence. In frisbee, it goes over your head, and then you can go chase it and still get it.
Flat ball.
If we were playing with referees and people were getting in fights, I would still play the game, because it's the coolest game.
Portland, Maine. About 250,000 people live in the area. It's home to nearly 500 Ultimate players and a 26-team summer league.
It doesn't matter where you go, you run into Ultimate players.
I decided to find out what strange forces are at play in this frisbee vortex of a town. Naturally, I went straight to the top for answers.
We never turn anyone away, we never have, and until we run out of space, never will.
Alex Posey runs the league and helped start it in 1993 with just 4 teams.
My long-term goal is just to make it the next big thing, like the NFL.
The league's purpose, at least initially, was to serve as a farm system for a local club team, Red Tide, whose goal was to make it to nationals. Apparently it worked.
Yeah, hugely. I mean, Matt Dana's the poster child for it. He had never played Ultimate, came into Summer League, played with Junk of Pork in their very first year, you know, the second Portland team that was a spin-off from all these Summer Leaguers. And then the next year he played on Red Tide, and then not long after that he was one of the best players in town and helped lead us to nationals.
They made it in 1998. Portland's Summer League has developed a reputation for welcoming players of all skill levels, including people who've never played a sport before.
We've got folks that have been playing for 25 minutes. We've got folks that have been playing for 25 years.
People who play organized Ultimate for any amount of time quickly become aware of a concept called spirit of the game.
Spirit of the game is that thing that makes Ultimate completely different from any other sport.
I don't think it's unique to Frisbee, it's just that Frisbee is the only one that legislates it.
Spirit of the game is about personal responsibility.
Not getting pissed off when someone drops the Frisbee.
What it means is you play as hard as you can all the time, but you stop short of not respecting who you're playing against.
Drinking beer.
The on-the-field stuff is more of what it is to me, I guess. The spirit of the game. Like not calling yourself in when you're out and stuff like that.
Having fun.
If there's new people involved and there's a questionable call, you explain what the rule is and you just let them go and stuff.
It's up to you to make sure that that you're not fouling, and if you are fouling, you say that I'm fouling.
Meeting new people.
You can play with a beginner and not have them have a bad experience or anything like that.
In 2002, the Portland Summer League created a Spirit of the Game award for the most exemplary team.
How do you raise awareness? Well, you make an award.
Brian Baru, named for one of the league's sponsors, won the Spirit Award, partly because of and partly in spite of its captain, Stur Metcalf.
I hate saying spirit of the game all the time. Because I really hate the term.
Stur is one of these folks that is an incredible player, great skills, great experience.
Anybody who plays in bare feet, anybody who plays in the skirt, it's just a really easy way to get me just focused in.
And he's cool.
So let's all just work on kind of a Zen kind of relaxation thing, patience, be in the moment, be in your throw.
I don't think spirit of the game means like, you wear funny hats and it's just like, if you want to, fine, whatever.
And Stur's gonna, teach you what he can teach you and share with what he can share with you and have fun with you on the field. He's enjoying it.
I'm all for a good spike. No, I don't do it.
Tell me why you think your team, Brian Baru, won the Spirit of the Game award.
You mean besides Belinda?
Oh, in 2002,
Brian Baru became the king of iron. In 2002, Team Baru will make its score get higher.
Please welcome your hometown favorite, Team Brian
For one, she did all the cheers, and two, she just is really, she's really into it.
Incidentally, Brian Baru was the king of Ireland from 1002 to 1014, and then he was murdered in his sleep.
Next year I'm picking Belinda because I want to win the Spirit of the Game award.
As a team, we just encourage, not necessarily like good spirit, but we encourage just to have fun and to while you're playing and to play hard.
Many players consider safety a key component of Spirit of the Game.
If you don't play the game safely, you're not cool.
Some veterans would like to see an even greater emphasis on safety.
I just think that there are more goon-like individuals coming off more aggressive sports like football, basketball.
There are definitely folks in this game, folks in this summer league, that don't have as keen an awareness, that don't have a real focus on safety.
I think it would be good to make it make sense to them by saying it's not like basketball, it's not like football, it's not like these other sports.
And I want to say, pertaining to more guys, I don't think I've ever had an issue with women, but guys taking out their own players, taking out their own women specifically, for the sake of getting a frisbee.
Maybe because it's faster, maybe because people are laying out and there are more parts of their body are at risk.
It's the same way that anything comes in society. It grows through modeling and example, and of course one of those things is kind of through a peer pressure.
I'm not exactly sure how to solve the problem except to talk about it and have the captains all talk about it and point out that it is a problem.
Despite the attention paid to safety, accidents do happen.
That was the first half of the first night of the season, and it was a nice little fifth finger break. I have a bit of a bum ankle.
I've got a pair of shin splints.
I was laying out for the disc, and I missed it, and my defender was trying to jump over me, and I guess his knee hit the side of my head. My head was a few inches off the ground, so it drove my head back into the ground.
It was bent up and over the ring finger at a 90-degree angle.
When I got some ice on the back of my neck, I was able to open my eyes, and I kind of snapped out of it then.
And I got 2 pins that make a little X in it.
I was told to stop doing anything rigorous for 2 weeks because you could get swelling.
Hopefully no chips.
If you pass out, you could go into a coma.
But you failed to listen, didn't you, Jeremy?
Yes, I did.
Got a nice little lump.
Those come out in a week and a half, and then hopefully we'll be back on the field.
Gets a little better every day.
It's so hard to watch. It's so hard to watch and not play.
I think there's, a high possibility for injury in this sport, yes.
I was not injured at Summer League per se. I was injured at a different tournament.
I'd say the injuries have more to do with how demanding it is on the body.
And it had a huge impact on my Summer League, my frame of mind, my community, my way of life. It had an impact on everything.
How hard you have to run and the cutting.
I had made a cut and I was running for the disc.
We play with 7 on the field.
Caught the disc.
And you play offense and you play defense.
Turned to throw downfield.
Kind of like basketball, but the field isn't... How long's a basketball field? Basketball court.
I don't even know.
And heard this loud noise.
We're talking end to end on a field that's as big as a soccer field.
And my knee just buckled. It was just not there anymore.
It's a very, very demanding sport.
So how do all these teams form in the first place? Ah, yes, the legendary Portland Summer League draft.
The draft is totally cool. The draft is nuts.
Happy draft!
It's a party, like pretty much like the way Alex plans most things, I think.
I was a captain for the first time this year, and so it was my first time going to the draft. I was nervous.
I think the draft starts long before the day of the draft.
You've got 26 captains. Most of those captains have at least a co-captain helping them. Some people had a whole posse helping them.
I mean, it's very complicated, the whole draft.
Whatever number you pick out of this hat is the order that you get to pick your draft pick order.
There were a couple guys at the draft that had computers. They had their laptops. They had all the picks out on the laptop and their choices. I don't know what was going on with the laptops, but they had them.
Alex kept sending out emails saying, we need a few more people. You know, the league got so big this summer, it keeps getting so big that he has all the same captains from the past, but needs a few more people. And
I would have had 28 teams this year if I could have found 2 more captains.
Doug said, you know, I'm not as strong as many of the other captains out there.
The whole thing starts off with fighting about who picks first.
Let's go to a vote on does Robyn get an early pick? Okay, we're getting some momentum for Robyn for the early pick. All right. Yeah, baby.
That's after you've picked shirts, which is also terrifying. Heaven forbid you should end up with pink.
That's really nerve-wracking. It's not so bad. I need that pen.
And Pink won the tournament.
And the pink, as it turned out, won the tournament. That's an interesting point.
So then he asked 2 people at the same time, and we both said yes.
And it goes really fast.
And so he went back to Alex and said, well, can Corey and Deb be captains with me? And then, I didn't think anyone knew this yet, but at some point somebody turned to me and said, what's the deal with you guys? You have Corey and Sheila and Doug and you. How did you end up with that?
Half the room, like me, is panicking and pulling their hair out.
So I was trying to rationalize it or whatever, and then I was like, yep, we did it. Doug asked, we got it. Tough luck, you know.
The other half has had so many drinks by the time the first picks come out that they're plastered.
One guy, actually, Chris Gamble, had been playing a captain on his own. So he shows up at the draft with 2 other people on his team. Martha and Rick, I'm pretty sure. Doug and Corey and I have our heads together and we're like, so, are we going to try and push for a 2nd round men's pick? Or are they going to make us take a 1st round men's pick?
If you take too long to make your pick, which isn't even very long, it's 25 seconds or something, you get stalled. Not unlike in the game, you get stalled.
And so they come to us and decide that we're going to lose a 1st round women's pick. And everybody, and they just said, and a 2nd round men's pick.
A mushroom cloud blows up on the projection screen.
Like, oh, it doesn't get any better than that. Like, first off, we have 4 people on our team, and then we still get a 1st round men's pick.
With all the teams picked, it's time to clean up.
I usually wear 2 lefts. But today I'm stuck with a left and a right.
Oh,
that's all right.
damn, I'm sorry.
Girl power! Keep on it, John!
Come back.
Beginners have a lot to learn in the first few weeks.
You got Star behind you. Sorry.
Sorry, it's okay.
Some captains are way into teaching, some not so much.
For years, I was really bad at it.
It's just a role that I've always taken.
And after my wife started playing, and after a couple of years told me that she still didn't know what a stack or a force was, I realized I needed to learn to start teaching people
What a stack is, and where to be, and how to stack up in the middle of the field, and that if you don't know where to go, stay in the middle.
I focus very much on fundamentals.
Forcing one way or the other.
Don't wave your hands around, mark properly.
I don't care if you can't catch or you can't throw. I mean, I want you to be able to do those things, but I really want you to know where to put yourself on the field.
Count.
Stop! 1, 2, up! There you go.
And then, if all you can do is stay in the middle of the stack and maybe catch something in the end zone, fine. That's great. That's awesome.
We play zone on the first game of the year.
These guys are running their ass off.
And then we'll have two people kind of behind the cup, because has everybody seen a zone? We played against it that one night, the first night you were here.
When the disc goes, you go as a team, as a cup.
I think I'm very good at getting them involved in the game. I make a ton of effort to throw to the beginners.
And then eventually you start to learn, you start to pay attention and see other people cutting and where to cut.
After a few weeks, many newcomers feel more comfortable and teams start to gel. Inexperienced players aren't the only ones learning. Each year, more kids seem to occupy the sidelines. And more, the playing field.
When we started with Red Tide, we were all in our early 20s. Nobody had kids. Maybe one or two guys were married. And now everyone has kids and everyone's married. And there's a whole new generation kind of coming up that are starting to take the reins as we all get ready to retire or at least slow down.
Are you going to bring their kids out?
Oh, absolutely, of course.
Why?
So I can watch them play. While I sit and save my body. No, I mean, just because it's so much fun. I mean, there's all these other kids to play with. It's a great thing to do, you know. It's just a blast. All the kids I've ever seen come to the games seem like they enjoy it and have a good time. I can't see any reason not to. I think just socially they learn, there's got to be a lot of just general social skills. These kids are all growing up with a group of like 30 friends that a lot of people don't have growing up naturally, but we have this big community, and I think that's a neat thing that will definitely help them. And just seeing people get along in team sports in general. You know, I've met a lot of people. My wife Jen had never played a team sport and didn't even really kind of understand it or what the big deal was, and after years of summer league, she kind of wishes I think she did as a child and understands how much you get from learning to deal with people and being on a team, supporting each other and winning and losing, the whole thing.
You guys have young Sky. What do you think it's like for kids out here, and what do you think that we teach them?
I try and teach him that you don't need to win, you don't need to be first, because he's always like, I'm first. And then we were at a tournament with him, and we were like, come on team, let's win, let's come in first. So I'm trying to teach him not to focus on coming in first, but then there we are, tell him to come in first. So I think this whole sports thing isn't good for him. I just wanted to think that, you know, it's okay to be second or third. Fourth, though. If he's never fourth, though, he's out of the family.
I think it's cool to have active parents.
Oh, yeah. Can you erase what she said? I think it's cool to have active parents. Bring it like this.
I'm telling you. You want to win the money?
Listen to him.
Ready? One, two, three.
Friday night games at Fitzpatrick Stadium are a new and popular addition to the Summer League experience.
1, 2, 3, 4.
If we were out there, the game would be over.
Not so close, Tom.
Catch, throw, goal.
1, 2, 3.
5, 6, 7.
I'll take Kevin Massey.
I got Kevin Massey.
All right.
I got Stoughton.
I'm taking Kelly.
8, 9. There's 9.
You took who?
Kelly.
Oh, bastard.
In the end zone. Hello.
Not so close, Tom. Not so close.
I had the white hat. I was a little kid. Hey, man, they should bring that throw back. Protest. I want to file a protest on that.
My only dollar, I want you to know that.
Happy birthday, Chris. I'm going white cap. White cap.
Players are under strict orders not to walk on the track in their cleats. They go to great lengths to comply. Fans are under strict orders not to drink or smoke. They conduct themselves with the utmost decorum.
Damn, such a nice ass. Can you get a look at that? Look at that butt. That's a nice biscuit.
Sit down. I can't see. Sit down. Sit down. Sit
Down in front.
Down in front. Will you people sit down? You're crazy.
MGI scores. Score 14-13.
In just one season, Friday night under the lights has become a weekly special occasion. The season culminates with the big tournament. Seedings having been determined by regular season records, teams compete for the right to advance toward the finals. Sure, it's nice to win, but no one seems to mind losing. Eliminated players calmly retire to their lawn chairs, enjoy a few adult beverages, in moderation, of course.
Yeah, the Nalgene was way over there, so, you know, you gotta make do with what you got.
Chat with friends and reflect on better summer league times.
First year of Summer League 10 years ago.
Yep, it's a 10-year anniversary.
And it was kind of a sleazy story, sort of, because Rob Sullivan, who's not here, but should
To
be,
defend himself.
should be, had the hots for Carrie, so he drafted her because he wanted to scam on her. And then because he wanted to win, he, like, outside the draft picked me because he thought I was a good player and got us both on the same team. And I thought Carrie was pretty hot. And she showed up the first day and her dad drove her, and I thought that he was her boyfriend. I don't know, one of the days you showed up with your dad and I was worried it was your boyfriend, but then I realized it wasn't. Well, we went out for pizza. No, we went out to a bar.
We went out to Gritty's.
And
Yep.
Flash, hi Flash, Flash was trying to scam on
Now,
Carrie.
you don't know that for a fact.
I know it for a fact. And after pizza, we went out for beer, and after beer, we're all like, let's go get pizza.
No, specifically I said, no. After the beer, I was like, well, it was like 11. We're the only ones left in the bar. I said, well, I gotta get going, guys. Remember, then we walked out, and we got out of the bar, and I said, well, my car's that way.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Tom
Oh, yeah.
said, and Flash said, my car's that way. Tom goes, well, I'm that way too.
But I wasn't really. Totally the other
Like a mile down the road.
And then 2 kids later, and 10 years later, here we go.
I'm still here. Yeah.
Then it's time to heckle the last 4 teams standing. And everyone else in attendance.
I was thinking about Ultimate and just sort of one of the things that it means to me in the heckling. You just have to get over yourself. I remember getting Stacy to come across, and then we decided that we wanted to send him back. We weren't sure we wanted Stacy on our side anymore.
Despite all those sideline shenanigans, the crowd pays some attention to the last 2 rounds. The 2002 finals turned out to be a Tommy Stote and Matt Dana highlight reel. Yes, that Matt Dana, the aforementioned poster boy of the league. Tommy's no slouch either. Who knows the final score? But Matt caught the winning goal for Portland Lobster Company. Despite a very respectable bid by Tommy of Great Lost Bear. And so, another season came to a close. Don't get me wrong, this is no athletic utopia. Ultimate players get hurt, sometimes we disagree and even lose our tempers. But in the end, almost everyone can agree Portland's Summer League is a fun and exciting way to spend 8 weeks. And clearly, this many people can't be wrong. See you next summer.
at home, I need you to explain what we're about to see.
Oh, well, Mark Olson
You have pretzels around?
You have pretzels?
Are those pretzels still here?
is a teammate of ours on Cafe UFA.
We're going to attempt it with the peanuts. You were doing great sitting down. You were doing great sitting down.
And one of his key talents is that he can catch anything with his mouth.
All right, let's take a look.
Right.
Oh, nice.
This is the way I throw it. And one of the things that is very important is that you hold it tight.
Sorry, man. Nice one, Mark.
Really tight.
Be the nut. Be the nut.
Here. And you should. I mean, I can't do this very well because I'm not as strong as I should be. But I should be able to flip this frisbee around and it shouldn't move. It should be held so tight in my hand. Because the idea is I want to flick it off this finger.
It's fantastic.
Hard.
Throw the whole can up. See how many. Yeah, Mark.
People forget about the stance. I don't talk about the stance. I talk about the stance. They sort of just say, teach people how to throw it and then don't pay any attention to your legs. But I want people to get low. That's what I do. I tell them to do their legs and I make them do it over and over before we even start.
Oh, that was nice. Fantastic.
If you teach them like this, they'll end up releasing it like this.
Oh, this is a good one.
But when you teach them like this, they release it like this.
Mark,
She can be in the shot.
I feel like the Godfather right now.
there, we got about 25.
I do remember eating Velveeta and drinking beer.